Hi, I'm Kris Wise with Wise About Flower Mound, and I'm here with Tom Muench, and we are at the Expedia
Cruises.
But I think it changed names, didn't it?
Okay. The sign above us still says cruise ship center.
Oh, see, I told you. So tell me about, gosh, what a year for not taking a vacation.
Right. It has been a little interesting and challenging this year, despite everything. We thought it would be a little shorter
we all
impact.
Thought it would. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it isn't. We're still dealing with it.
Yeah.
So just to talk a little bit about, we were once Expedia Cruise Ship Center. Mm-hmm. We shortened that.
Okay.
But what it also means basically is we're actually a full service travel agency.
Okay.
So we do more than just cruises, and that's the biggest thing I typically have to tell people is that we're beyond cruises. We can first do your whole vacation package with your cruise, but we do a lot of land packages and pre and post cruise, add-ons, or just entirely all-inclusives to Mexico or the Caribbean.
Right.
Are very popular. Okay. We do some destination wedding type things, and small company incentive travel plans. So again, well beyond cruises is what we offer clients.
So I'm assuming United States and Europe, and so do you have do you do stuff in the United States? Is there like Disney or those kind of things?
Yeah, we will do Disney, and we have a Disney specialist that works on that, and I've booked several Disney packages for people as well. Mm-hmm. We do, again, a lot is, more of our business actually is more of the complex stuff when you get outside of the borders of the U.S.
Right.
So we'll do a lot of Hawaii stuff, Alaska, which technically is a state, but again, same as Hawaii, it requires some additional things, especially if you're going through Canada or something like that.
Right.
And then we do a lot of Europe. Europe in Italy is probably our biggest destination request for a lot of people, but Greece is definitely another popular request for customers. Okay. And again, that could be cruise, land only, or a combination of. And a lot of times when you're seeing people travel internationally, they're going to tack on some extra time because the flight typically doesn't cost more. It's just, do I have the extra time to stay 3 or 4 nights pre or post? And how much do I want, how much can I afford?
Yeah, definitely. We took a Mediterranean, I think it was a 12-day cruise, and then we tacked on 4 days in Rome. Mm-hmm. And that was really nice because, truly, I think anytime you take a vacation, it takes 7 days just to even disconnect.
Right.
And then you start your vacation. If you only take a 1-week cruise, you're disconnected like the last day you're there.
Right.
So that's not fun.
It's kind of hard to just travel there, get on the ship,
finish,
and then get off and fly back.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so again, a lot of people are doing, that pre or post. I always like to get them there early. At least a day in advance, if not maybe a couple more, just because
helps with the jet lag.
But then it also, if there's any flight delays, cancellations, which we can't control, it does happen. Lost luggage. We've had clients lose some luggage. It's showed up maybe a port later. But those kind of scenarios, if you're doing something, I always like to do it pre, and again, if you have time, then do it post as well, depending on what you are. And what's nice with the post side, we'll look at also options where you're not doing a round trip port to port, so like a Venice to Venice or something like that.
Yeah.
You may start in Venice but finish in Barcelona, and so now you could add pre and post very
at
easily.
Both locations. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. So just like real estate, you've been really impacted by the internet market as opposed to the regular brick and mortar. So I know for us, there's so many different internet companies that will come and sell your house and stuff like that. Internet companies, certainly you can book your trip through. So just like as a real estate agent, I'm sure there's reasons why people would want to come to you.
Definitely.
And not just go to xyz.com and book a trip.
Right.
So
well, and the biggest thing with that is being part of Expedia first is the brand recognition. And when you tell someone, again, you're with Expedia, it builds kind of instant credibility. We have the buying power of that. What we're going to do is also offer the personal service that you would not get from an online experience.
Exactly, personal service.
That is key. And especially in a COVID environment, if you booked your trip and you did it online, and I know you've even said that with the real estate side and maybe a mortgage or something like that, you had troubles with. The same thing right now with a COVID example or pre-COVID. If there was an issue, you're the one that has to pick up the phone, sit on hold, maybe a chat conversation, wait for someone. I've sat on hold personally for clients 2 hours plus, and it's been even longer. And so I take care of that burden on your behalf.
Right.
And what's nice about that also is we don't charge extra for our services. And so we're really extensions of any travel partner's sales team. They just can't put enough feet on the ground to go out and present their product. And so we become an extension of their team. And what we are kind of as a broker, we represent all brands. And so what my goal is to listen to what you want out of your vacation. You may come in saying, I want a Norwegian cruise.
Right.
I want to understand why Norwegian. Well, I like the itinerary or something like that. I'll say, have you thought of maybe Celebrity? And look at something else. And the reason I might suggest that is because, again, with our buying power, we set up Expedia exclusive staterooms. And so in typical Expedia fashion, we'll give the cruise lines a big check in advance to pre-purchase staterooms, and those staterooms come at a discount.
Okay.
That discount you cannot get by
Right.
calling up Celebrity or Norwegian
Right.
or Royal.
Yeah.
You have to get it through us. And we've saved clients sometimes $1,500, $2,000 off of
Wow.
a cruise that if you went on and bought that direct, you would not get the same savings because they can't offer it. So we bring a lot to the table. Plus, we're also passionate travelers. We travel ourselves, where a lot of times if you're dealing with that call center person,
that
they've
person-
never even been on the boat or the destination.
They might be in the Philippines,
Right.
which
Yeah.
that's fine. A lot of
Right.
call centers are in the Philippines, but yeah, you're right. They don't know.
Right. And so they can't give that personal experience. And what we'll bring to the table on that too is if I don't have it, and there's no way I can go to every destination that my clients want to go to.
Although, as your family members probably like, could you please? We haven't been to wherever. Add that to the list next year.
And that's the negative of the business is my bucket list keeps growing.
Yes.
As I'm doing research for clients and I'm trying to find more information about the destination, it adds to my bucket list a lot of times. And that's the other side of it too. We spend a ton of time educating ourselves, attending webinars, following up and looking at the information, what partners maybe service an area well or something like that. So we're doing a lot of the legwork because you can really get overwhelmed with the amount of information that's on the internet.
Definitely.
And just kind of throw your hands up in the air.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, just get frustrated or just pick something.
Right.
Just the same with buying a house, buying a car. People do their research.
Yeah.
And they're going to be looking at it. They'll say, I want this house. You're going to hopefully now take them to it. And if that house meets their needs, great, you'll help them execute that.
Yeah.
If not, I have these 3 others that we might want to look at.
Exactly, because I've understood what they need.
Right.
And that is truly, we kind of think of ourselves as doctors, and you're like vacation doctors.
Right.
You're like, okay, this is what I need. I need to be able to go sit with my toes in the sand. I don't want to have to worry about where I'm going to eat every day. And an all-inclusive seems like that would be perfect for you.
What kind of activities might you like to do? Do you want adult only, no kids?
Yeah.
What kind of experience? How big a resort? What kind of amenities? Sometimes there's stay at 1, play at 2, or play at 3.
Yes.
So those kind of things can factor in, which just gives you options. You've experienced that with the sandals, and you have that access depending on what destination you go to. That they have a multi, experience opportunity. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, what a year for no travel. My mom said she was going to get me a shirt that says no travel phobia, which is the fear of not having the next trip. And that is so true.
Right.
We used to always try to have at least one cruise a year.
Right.
That was just the easiest vacation for our family. And it has not been fun.
And what's nice about that, and while we're still in this, no travel, there's pent-up demand. And people are looking to get some ideas. They want something to look forward to.
Yes.
The thought of anticipation, and you know what it's like, and I know what it's like to have a trip on the books and say, I can't wait until we go to Alaska.
It makes
or
today
Europe.
easier to get through.
Right.
Because in a month, 2 months, 6 months.
Sometimes a year.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is we're doing stuff for 2021. There's some still uncertainty in 2021 in what vaccines and what borders and stuff like that. But we're also doing some stuff in 2022. And even into 2023, some people have looked at some things as itineraries and availability becomes available. And what I like to tell people is when you put a deposit down on a cruise, and let's say it's in December of 2022, you've set the ceiling. It is no longer going to go higher unless there's some kind of a gas surcharge that we can't help.
Yeah.
If gas goes to $4 here, they're going to charge.
They're going to charge. Yes.
But what you're doing is setting the ceiling. But as your travel agent, I'm also going to monitor your booking. And so all along the way, if there's a new promotion that comes out that enhances your value, we're going to reprice into that. And we've done that often. I did it personally for myself when we took my family to Alaska. I put the initial deposit down in September of 2018, and then roughly about November, it repriced. I saved myself $600 on our cruise.
Oh my gosh.
So what's nice about that is always calling up someone and saying, you don't have to bring as much to the
Right,
closing.
exactly. We love that. The seller gave you a credit.
Right. That's kind of what it is. And so that's another
awesome.
service we're going to offer.
Yeah.
And so when you look at the complete vacation package, so we'll plan the cruise or whatever it might be, and I kind of call the cruise the foundation of the trip. Once that's in place, we know the dates of the cruise. Now we want to figure out what flights, and then we start to figure out, and we'll monitor when flights are good. We have air consolidators that we'll work with.
Oh.
But then we'll also
I've
look
never
at what
thought
the
of that.
cruise,
Yeah.
we'll look at what the cruise lines offer. And a lot of people have points as well. And so we'll try to explore what the best option is for someone.
Yeah.
Just recently I had someone that was talking about doing a domestic flight, and she said she had X amount, and I said, you really should save those for Europe, you know?
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
and save them for something like that, because
Yeah.
that was on their bucket list as well.
Right.
But we'll put the flights together then for them. We'll help with shore excursions, pre or post, as well as during. Then we'll also look at travel protection, and that's a big thing these days, is having travel protection.
Yeah.
We always promoted it before because it's protecting against the unknown, but now more than ever,
Yeah.
it's definitely something to consider when you're traveling, just because there's a lot more unknowns
Yeah,
at this
truly,
stage. But then we'll help with any other additional details of the trip from the time they leave to the time they get back.
Okay. So, so I could book a 2023 and maybe get one of those cool suites on one of the Royal Caribbean ships
Right.
that I can never get because it's booked out to forever.
And that's what's very, very interesting when you to bring that up, because you
Oh,
see-
Mark! I just had an idea.
and it's interesting to see that some of those premium suites, and granted there's a small quantity of them,
Yes.
but they're sold out, like you said,
Years in
sometimes
advance.
2
I mean,
years in advance.
right, I mean,
3 years in advance.
God, just even like the 2-bedroom ones, or something like if we were to just make it, and like you said, that sets the ceiling. So let's say it. I mean, and they're ridiculously expensive. So whatever they are, but if I had 3 years to save up for
Right.
it, and every little, in my case, closing, $100, $200, $500, whatever went to that. Oh my gosh.
And people can do that because
Yeah.
you can make payments along the way at any time.
Yeah.
What's nice also right now, a lot of cruise lines have adjusted their parameters. So a lot have called it like a similar term of cruise with confidence, because they want people, again, to dream. They want people to have something to anticipate about. What they've done is they've made deposits low. A lot of the cruise lines, and again, we'll look at that, and a lot have refundable deposits. And so
Yeah.
there's really low risk to
Right.
put something down in end of 2021, 2022, 2023. And when you're saying $250 for a couple to hold a suite,
Yeah.
or a balcony or something like that, and that's refundable up until
Yeah.
final payment,
Oh my gosh.
what do you
Why
really, you're not
not?
out really
Yeah.
anything at that point. So again, we try to guide and look for opportunities like that. There's also promotions out right now. Norwegian has one. Everyone likes to make money on money. Well, they're offering something right now with their Cruise First program where you can take $150 and make it $300. And so that $300 now can be used towards a future cruise deposit. So
Okay.
really, you picked up $150.
Yeah.
Stock market can't return it
Right.
that quick. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
But those are the kind of things,
Wow.
again, we continue to research, cut through the clutter, try to narrow it down so
Yeah.
we bring it to the client.
Exactly.
We may they may come in asking for XYZ company, but then what we'll do is, have you thought of this or looked at these options? So again, just trying to share.
Yeah, and that's really being an advocate for the customers, just
Right.
understanding what their needs are, and then figuring out, hey, have you considered this? And if they in the end go, no, I'm stuck with this brand, okay, that's
Right.
fine. But you've at least given them an alternative that maybe they'll save money, have a better trip, whatever that is, and then, I mean, a lot of times people just, like we were talking about earlier, they think of river cruises, Viking's the only one they think of.
Right.
And, but I didn't know there was other companies that
It's-
did river cruises.
It's
I
kind
mean,
of the
pretty
Kleenex.
sad.
It's kind
Yes.
of the Kleenex of the brand, or of that segment. But there are a lot of other offers, and Viking does a great job.
Yeah,
and we
my
do a lot of
parents have
people
been
with
on
Viking.
several.
But there are alternate options, and we'll look at those as well. And sometimes it's a little different itinerary. Sometimes it's a different service level, cost level. It could be, or all of the above. And some combination of that. So again, like you said, it's kind of our job to do that. And the way I kind of joke with people as well is, I'll call it like House Hunter International. Here's option one.
Yes.
It checks 3 of 4
Yes.
boxes. Here's option 2, option 3. And then we try to whittle down to whatever one makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you do also
Yeah,
with a house.
exactly,
Which
exactly.
one does it check?
Right.
Oh, pool,
and
no pool.
yeah, and usually in their budget, it doesn't check all of them.
Right.
Especially in this market where
Right.
prices are ridiculous. But yeah, so let's prioritize those parameters.
Right.
Did you have to have this? You can always add a pool. You can't add a 5th bedroom. You know, what do you want?
Or you can't change the location of it.
Exactly.
You know, is it on a busy street corner or something like that? So the same thing we'll try to do. And that's the other thing just made me think when I mentioned that when we're booking something as far as a cabin, we'll look, okay, is it between other staterooms or is it over the theater or underneath the pool deck?
I was underneath the main dining room one time, at least it seemed like it was, and they vacuumed at 4 in the morning, and we did not know that.
Right, until you woke up every morning.
And it was like, what the heck? And then the pool deck, the carts with the...
and the chairs.
Oh my gosh!
And even in the afternoon, if you're trying to take a nap.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so much for that because you just heard everything move.
Yeah.
And so we try to avoid those. Sometimes it's a budget restriction that we can't, or occupancy availability issue. But we're always trying to, my goal is to try to find the best option for the client.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I don't want just one sale. I want a repeat customer, and I want a customer for life. But more importantly, also, I want to know that you're willing to give my name to friends and family.
Exactly. And my business is built on the same thing. It's not just, let me just get another one through. That's ridiculous. I mean, my people buy less often than yours.
Right.
But there's still that opportunity for referrals. And in service-based businesses, that's how you grow your business, is treating the customer wonderfully, earning their trust, their respect, their business, and then all of their referrals. And hopefully you're their, travel person for life. I'm their realtor for life. And yeah.
Yeah, and I use the real estate very similar because I have travel consultants. They're all independent contractors.
Yeah, just like
they are
us.
building their business.
Yeah.
They're under an umbrella of Expedia Cruises, which is part of Expedia Group, and so the .com and all that.
Yeah.
And so again, the same thing is we'll try to build that customer and that relationship using our resources that we have available. So.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, boy, I tell you, I'm looking forward to booking my next trip because this has just been so hard to not travel.
Yeah, it is, and I miss. We typically will host an event here about once a month.
Yeah.
We'll bring in a different provider, and sometimes it's a land-based, sometimes it's a land and a river, because they may complement each other with food and wine. Because that's kind of the thing that you enjoy about traveling, as well as you get food and wine. And then what we'll do is usually bring in a local restaurant or something like that to cater it. And we've filled this. We've had in the center here 50, 60 people at times. A good number is probably around 35 to 45.
Yeah.
But it's exciting to see when people are coming out. And our goal with those events are to educate them and let them know about other brands, other opportunities. We usually have some kind of incentive if they're there that night, if they attended or even registered to attend. We'll give them that incentive for like the next 2 or 3 weeks. So it may be an extra onboard credit or something like that that we can offer them. And again, it's just a way to hopefully just expose people to other options out there. Because what happens is we start to also learn what their bucket list destinations are. They may have Hawaii on that, they may have Alaska on that, Italy or Europe or something like that, Galapagos like we were talking about before. And where do those fall in the order?
And then if you're aware of something, either new whatever, then they would be the first people to call.
Right. And just say, hey, there's some opportunities.
Yeah.
And again, with our Expedia exclusive staterooms, it really sets us apart from dealing direct. Or some of the other competitors out there. And that's a kind of a funny thing. You talked about the internet, and I didn't really address that too much because it definitely impacted our business years ago. You used to see a lot of retail cruise ship centers or travel agents.
Yeah, travel agents.
And that kind of disappeared in fear. A lot of people retired or retreated to their home. Expedia saw an opportunity. And they started, they bought the brand Cruise Ship Center. The brand itself has been around 30 plus years. And then eventually started franchising in the US because it started in Canada initially.
Oh, wow.
And so we have roughly about 300 locations across North America. Roughly about 100 of those are in the US. And we'll continue to grow. And what's happening now is you as a customer, so if you start your shopping on Expedia.com or Travelocity, which is a sister company, what would happen is if let's say you're looking at a cruise and you have questions or you're confused or what cabin level I can't, maybe I have a weird number, 5 people in trying to travel, and that's a tough number to
that is a tough
travel,
number.
especially in one cabin or one suite. So what happens is you'll fill out a little form, and because we're linked to Expedia Group, it'll say ask an expert. And so that call will get routed to us instead of a call center in Philippines like you mentioned or something like that. So now they're dealing with a local person because that person filled out a form with their name, phone number, maybe email address, but their zip code.
Yeah.
And they happen to be only a mile and a half away, weren't aware that we were here.
Exactly.
And now we can help build that relationship. Again, I like to, as much as I like to continue to communicate with clients via phone and email, I'd rather have them face to face and building that relationship with them. So.
Well, and that's how it is on the ship. When you go to the Future Cruise Center, you know, or whatever, and you know, and they're like, well, so what do you think? And then you're, well, I don't know about, you know, and that's exactly it, because then they can see how you react. They can see, you know, you just have a real time conversation.
And we encourage a lot of people to, when they're doing their cruise, to go stop by the cruise desk and talk to them about a future cruise, because they'll give a great offer. You know, the last thing the cruise line wants you to do is leave that ship, because what they know is that 90% of the people who have cruised before will cruise again. So the last thing they want to do is have them leave a Norwegian and go to a Royal or vice versa. And so they're going to try to offer you a future cruise credit and make it a pretty good deal. And we try to encourage you, if you like what you're doing, if you enjoy the brand, you like the experience, and you think you're going to go in the next 3 or 4 years, because that's typically about what the cruise next value will last, is to take advantage of it. And what's nice about it, people feel, oh, it's like I'm going behind your back. No. It's like, no, you're not. You're actually,
we're still linked to you.
Because I'll get credit, and we'll start planning that trip once you get back. With that, and so that's kind of
I think that was really smart.
Yeah, so,
Zillow isn't like that, by the way. They don't. There's no loyalty. So
and that's sad. And it was one of the things I really liked when I was exploring the industry and looking at getting into this and buying a franchise. I liked that as one of the reasons.
They're partners instead of competitors.
Right. It's kind of like I always equated it or joked about it again. Is, you know, I brought you to the date, but now someone stole you.
Exactly. You know,
and, so,
and want you to pay for the dinner. Like, wait a minute.
Right. And so that's kind of what, you know, we look at. But it's a great deal, you know, to look at those cruise next opportunities, you know, especially when you're on board in the moment. So we've taken advantage of it, because it's free money again.
I know. Gosh. I almost wanted to rent a boat on Grapevine to get on the water.
Call it a vacation, right?
It's like, somebody bring me a drink.
So you don't have to serve yourself,
exactly.
Right?
I mean,
I got the drink package with this.
It's so sad. It is so sad just what's happened this year.
Yeah, a lot of memories, I don't say lost, I just say weren't created. Unfortunately. And we've had some sad moments. We've had some clients. We had a 50th anniversary, and it was the same family had a 25th, and was a graduation. And so all in the same family were supposed to be going on a Hawaii cruise and got affected. You know, so those kind of things have happened, and it's sad to see the memories were not created, because that's one of the reasons I got into the business. Is it was less about materialistic items and more about experiential. What I wanted to do with my kids, because they're going to remember that for the rest of their life. They're going to talk about it.
That's right.
You know, if they swam with dolphins or, you know, walked on a glacier. They're going to
did
remember
the
that.
zip line.
Right. They're going to remember that more than I got the iPhone 12.
Right. Yeah, and it was that Max Pro.
You know, what year was that? What year was that, or whatever? And you know, they're going to kind of forget, because it's sad, you know, when you start asking your kids or someone, it's like, what do you want for Christmas? And it's like, I don't know, I don't really need anything, or just give me a gift card. And it's like, well, that's non-climatic, you know, climatic in the morning of Christmas. And so I'd much rather create some kind of experiential opportunity with them. Because I'll remember it, they'll remember it. You know, Facebook does a good job of reminding us.
That's right, I know. And it seems like this year, a lot of times, do you know that, you know, 4 years ago we were at this place, and, you know, 8 years ago, it's like,
touring Europe on a ship or something like that.
Oh, geez. I know my Christmas letter hadn't even been written yet, because it's like, well, what am I going to tell anybody? I worked my butt off this year. That's what Only the second half of the year. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, God, the first half of the year was so slow. Second half has just been crazy. It's like a whole year's worth of business in 6 months. Which normally by now, you know, we're just kind of wrapping up.
And I hope if we're doing that 6 months from now, this interview again,
I
would be saying the same thing.
I know, I hope
demand.
so. And I really think that that's going to be the case. I know we experienced it on the real estate side. Is, you know, we were shut down the rest of March, all of April. May, they started to say, okay, you're not going to die if you go show a house. So we were able to do it again, and then I mean, I think what happened is people looked at each other and said, "This house is too small for us,"
Right,
because
right.
we spent the last 2 months.
I need a home office now.
That's right. We need 2 home offices. So a lot of people, and then of course, the influx from the coasts coming here. So we've got Californians, we've got New Yorkers coming to
well, if you have those clients that are in that situation where they're maybe and now they're in flux and they need a place to stay, there are resorts that are doing work remote.
Oh my!
Because with kids work, remote schooling, a lot of people working still remote. There are resorts that have been set up, and they kind of create these little packages for people to work remote. It'd be hard for you to show a property that way, but maybe you have some clients that might want to get away for a couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. I need to talk to the construction, inside of this industry. If someone's having their kitchen redone, maybe leave the house for a couple of weeks.
Leave the house.
Yeah, just made me think of something.
Because we've proven that you can work remotely.
Right.
I mean, my husband's doing a job that they said there's no way, and then COVID hit, and they're like, nope, we're going to still come back in. And that was only for like a week or two. And then they said no. And now they're like, well, hey, either way, you can work from home or you can come back to the office. So I think a lot of companies, and that's probably why we're seeing that influx from California, is people are realizing they don't have to live in California to work there.
The crazy cost there.
Yeah, crazy. Well, great information. So you got me excited again about traveling.
Well,
I mean, I was excited, but but just to think about how do we do this in different ways so that, we still can get out there and travel and, don't get stuck in this box of certain things.
Right. And everyone's at a different level of comfort level of where they want to travel.
Exactly.
Some are like, I'm ready to go.
It's all personal.
Right, and ready to go. And we've had some very good success with that. And, there's options available, and we kind of monitor what's open, what's not, just to be able to offer some suggestions. Other people are like, I'll wait and see. Let's see what kind of happens. Other people, I'm not going to travel until I know the vaccine is successful.
Right.
And we understand that, and people are in different levels, and we just want to let them know that we're here when they're ready to travel.
Exactly.
And just explain what the options are, and again, help them out as best we can. So.
Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. This was just wonderful. It's wonderful just to think about the cruises that I've had and the trips that I've had, and you're very informative, and I think people need to come and see your space and come to your events once we're back to allowing that, because, I mean, gosh, nobody goes, oh, I have to travel. Maybe somebody who travels for work, but even those people right now are not traveling, so they want to travel. But
it's not the same travel.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things so we like to consider ourselves consultants as opposed to salespeople, because I don't have to convince you or tell you need a vacation.
Yes.
I need to listen,
I come in needing
understand, and then we just make a recommendation. So we may have to push you a little because the promotion's ending, or something might change, or some availability or something like that. So I may have to be a little pushy at that point, just to see if you're ready to commit or not.
Right.
And again, it's partly to take advantage of whatever offers available, and we've done that for some clients as well. And we've had them, put the deposit down because the promotion was ending, and then relook at it later on to see if anything has changed.
You bought some time.
Right. You've locked in and stopped the clock and stopped everything from moving at that point. And we do hope to get people back in the center. Again, I love that side of it. It's been fun. I need to continue to build the team and get some consultants up and running, because there is that pent-up demand. And it's definitely going to need to be addressed. So we'll continue to work on that side as well. It'll look like Black Friday when they finally let cruises come back. It'll be like a line out the door. Everyone will stop going to Starbucks over there, and they'll start coming into here. So.
Oh my gosh! Well, thank you so very much.
I
appreciate it. So, if you have any travel needs, or if you're thinking about dreaming about a cruise at some point, not in 2020, but 2021, 2022, and maybe even 2023, you need to stop by and see Tom Muench. And we're over here at Expedia Cruises, and we are in the Kroger parking lot. It'll be forever known as the new Kroger for anybody who lives in Flower Mound, even though it's been here probably 10 years now. But over at the Pines, isn't it called the Pines?
We're at the corner of Flower Mound Road and Giroux.
Yes.
Yeah, or Morris.
Yes.
And so we're right in between Kroger and Massage Envy.
Yeah, where the dog place is. What's the dog?
Massage Green, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, what's the dog place?
Yeah, and then the vet place down there.
I can't think of what it's called. Oh my gosh. Okay, that great dog place. That my dogs, back when I had dogs, I think they were there. Never mind. Edit all of this out. Just edit this part out.
But we are located in the Pines at the corner of Flower Mound Road and Morris.
Where Jake's is.
Yes, Jake's Hamburger, Urbano's. And so those are kind of a couple little things that when I mention those, people say, I know where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly. Well, thank you again. So I'm Kris Wise with Wise About Flower Mound. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.